D&D Beyond now fits in the palm of your hand with the free D&D Beyond app. It's the perfect tool set for beginners, regular players, and seasoned dungeon masters. Play faster with the guided character creator and access your character sheets, spells, and abilities wherever you go. All of your adventures and source books are at your fingertips, even when you're offline. Easily find and access the rules you need when you need them. With more features to come, download the free D&D Beyond app today.
If you guys are just joining us, welcome to the Dev Update. Joining us today, Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft is out. We wanted to bring up our content manager, Elliot Spilk, so that we can chat with him a little bit about what that even means. Hey, man, what's up?
Hello. It is great to be here. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. I have peppered the Dev Update with Elliot Easter eggs, both your love of heat metal. Elliot wrote a really great celebration of the spell on the site a couple weeks ago, which you should definitely check out. Content manager, the compendium. What do you do, Elliot? How did you make Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft appear on the website so that I could use it to play House of Lament yesterday in 30 seconds?
Yeah, absolutely. In 30 seconds. Okay. Yes, I'm the game content manager. I basically receive files directly from Wizards of the Coast, and we take those files and we analyze them and check them for all the new rules, and then we present that over to our devs and say, hey, this is some cool new stuff we have to support or be aware of. And essentially we then take that content and we run it through an internal piece of software that we call Ogma, and we use that to create the actual compendium pages, but we also have to do so much more in terms of actually making every individual monster, an individual magic item, spells, feats, any individual little piece that's part of a book, we have to digitize. And I say we because it is absolutely a team effort. I work with the ever wonderful Faith, who was on a few weeks ago, and Adam Walton, as well as Jay Johnny, and we together are the game content team, and we digitize all the cool new stuff.
I mean, the amount of just detail and I's that get dotted and lowercase j's that get dotted and t's that get crossed in what you guys do is really kind of absurd to me. Is there you get everything from Wizards? Is there an organizational process that you guys kick out, to sort of get everything sort of on board and on the same page? Okay, spells are over here, we're getting them arranged.
Oh yeah.
How do you guys start a project?
So great question. Essentially, so we get the files. I immediately download them, I process them, I share them with the extended team, and then right away we get to work on reading every single line, page by page. We digest the book and we create a document that we present to our various product teams and the different developers to see all the cool new stuff. And at the same time as we're doing that, we also build internally a tracking sheet that we track every single monster that needs to be built, every single magic item, we track every single nuance, anything that might be different or changed from previous books that we need to be aware of. Sometimes there's actually even errata that's kind of in there, this monster has an interesting change to it. It was printed in another book. Let's reach out to Wizards of the Coast and see if there's any, difference that we need to actually solidify, and they'll confirm, or be nope, that's intended. So it's a pretty cool process. It's lots of fun. It's, my life every day, lots of fun, living the dream, best job ever.
Well, it's great. You talk about sort of the errata and comparing, some of that is so interesting because you and Faith, I mean, obviously your whole team, but I talk to you and Faith the most. I mean, you two are lore keepers, right? For this game and have been for ages. So I love just this aspect of you and someone who's just so deep in the lore from Wizards, really digging into changes and how should we be addressing this and stuff like that, because I mean you guys just have such a deep love and knowledge for the game. So as we queue up for some audience questions, if you guys just have some deep cut questions for Elliot, he's the dude to ask about lore, because it's all up there. It's really kind of nuts. Mellie, does the community have any questions for him?
Yeah, we got a couple questions. So we've got from Tadewen, best way to report errors in the compendium. If there's a spelling issue, if there seems to be maybe a little bit of missing information, that sort of thing.
So the best way to go about that, I'd say, is to go through our forums. But you can also reach out on Discord. I mean, we have a wonderful team of moderators who we really appreciate and gather and collect all this information. They pass it along to us, and then we review and check it out. We try to be our is basically to be as consistent with the content as possible. Like I mentioned, we run the files through Ogma. We don't actually type anything out. So we present the content as received to us. And so here and there, we are happy to fix a slight typo if it's something, but we really respect and honor our relationship with Wizards of the Coast and the great honor bestowed upon us to preserve and execute their rules as they see fit. So sometimes we've gotten feedback of hey, I think this line is wrong, or you missed a word here, or there's a typo on this word. And we have, like you mentioned, discussions. We have ample discussions about the rules and what they mean and how they're presented. And so we a lot of times cannot make a change to something because we notice if we were to change this, there's a really heavy rule implication there of how this could be interpreted. So sometimes we cannot fix things. But small typos and things like that, we love hearing that. We love to fix it and edit it as we can. So yeah, the forum and Discord are probably the best way to go about that.
Yeah, and
Nice.
when you guys drop that feedback in, I'll just say that on their Slack channel, it's the most just dense and intense version of a message board conversation about D&D that you'll ever see. No Reddit post comes close to just the very intense conversation that they have over what you guys report to them. It's kind of wild to watch. Sorry, Mellie.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've got also from Mick_V2. Player versions of maps are invaluable to me as a DM, but not every book on D&D Beyond has them. Is the process dependent on the material?
That is a great question. Essentially, we try to do the best we can with the content that's preserved to us. And again, because we have to preserve that content the way they give it to us, we try to do the best we can with removing as many secrets as we can and providing player maps. But I guess it depends on so not every book in D&D has them. So I think it depends on the map itself, probably. If it is a overview world kind of thing, for example, sometimes we don't have it. I don't know. I think that's actually an interesting question. I would love to see what maps they're referring to, because to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure we have all maps that can be player maps do have a player version. So I would love to dig deeper actually and find out what they mean.
So Mick, if you got examples, go ahead, go to our Discord. I think go to our DDB feedback channel. That's probably going to be the best place for us to then take a look at exactly what you've got there. From Gida XTD, how has the adaptation process evolved over time? They also, how's the communication between your team and the dev team kind of changed and improved? You've been with D&D Beyond since the start, right, Elliot?
I have, yeah. That's a great question.
So
I started.
You have the very large, yeah.
I do, yeah. The process has changed a lot. So I first started 4 years ago and change on March 20th, 2017, which was the first day of the D&D Beyond open beta. That was my first day. I was hired by Adam Bradford. I sat next to Adam Bradford for 2 years essentially, and then he got his cool office. And yeah, the process has changed a lot. Where I was originally a junior product manager, and besides doing product, I was basically sitting next to Adam, just crunching away at all the content. He would work on compendium pages, I would work on monsters and listings and backgrounds and subclasses, things like that. And the process has absolutely changed, where in the sense about 2 years ago, I was offered this position to take over as the game content manager and really oversee everything and give it its full department and a full team, which is when Faith also came on and really started helping me out more directly. And so, yeah, we absolutely have a lot of communication between teams. I have a weekly meeting with both the characters team and the adventure team to make sure that we are covering all of our bases of things that are on our docket now or coming down the pipe in the future. And so, yeah, I mean, the team is growing and the team is having. We're always trying to improve our communication with the various teams, and I think it's actually really going well. I think you can also see that from how quickly things are being turned around and how fast support comes out.
Can I hardball you on one, Elliot? I know that
Go for
Tasha's.
it.
I'm just going to ask the question before you're able to say yes or no, because I know that Tasha's was like a beast for you guys and a beast for everybody. Were there any like particular challenges from Tasha's that that your team has like learned from and adapted to, kind of like moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, Tasha's was a massive monumental effort because it essentially is, as many people who've enjoyed and seen that content, it's like a really big expansion to the rules. So, I mean, we learned that anything is possible when it comes to Wizards of the Coast. Like they can change things and can adapt things and evolve their game, which is really exciting. And I guess it taught us to really be on our toes and to make sure that our planning is super, super solid, because we have to really execute on getting everything down. It also really taught us like how important it is to have these weekly meetings, for example, that I just mentioned with the characters team and the adventures team. That's actually like right around Tasha's beforehand is right when we actually like started incorporating these weekly meetings, as opposed to having more of like our initial read through meeting and then hand off of the rules and kind of check in later, like, which was kind of like, would separate by a couple weeks. Now we have like weekly meetings. So I think that's what Tasha's taught us, is that we really need to have strong inter-team communication on a weekly basis between my game content team as well as the various dev teams.
Right on. Well, I think we've got time for two more, Mellie, if we've got them.
Two more. Let's do this one because I think that it kind of ties in a few different other questions and things we hear a lot. The Raven Feather Tavern asks, there's this old Magic the Gathering Innistrad, hey, here's some content you can use for D&D, but it's not in any of the normal books. Is that something that we can add, Elliot?
So unfortunately, while I love Magic the Gathering and I love Innistrad, especially as a setting, I think that whole block was super cool. We cannot add anything that is not officially granted to us by Wizards of the Coast. We are their direct partner as the official digital tool set. We work very closely together to agree upon what exactly we want to put up on the site and what we don't want to put up on the site. So we have some cool stuff coming down the pipe, which I'm excited about. But that was something that Wizards of the Coast asked us about and wanted to get up on the site. So we're working with them on it. But unfortunately, it has to come officially from Wizards of the Coast in order for us to do the work to put it up. That's why you also do see things like Extra Life adventures and those fun kind of adventures as well that like we get to support Extra Life when that event happens, which COVID kind of deterred a bit. But yeah, we put up essentially everything that Wizards of the Coast asked us to put up, and nothing more or less.
No side pieces.
Excellent.
In this relationship.
No, we have a very committed relationship with Wizards. Committed and loving. I mean, this is the most important question of all, Elliot. Last question for you from Sylvan Him. What is your favorite dinosaur?
Ooh,
this is big.
I don't know.
We'll probably headline the video around this.
I'm gonna have to go with the Triceratops, I think. I just think it's super cool. I mean, when you're a kid, you have like all these different kinds of dinosaurs, and I don't know. I just think they have a really cool like bone structure, I guess. The cool like head plate and stuff. Also, like who can forget like one of the most amazing scenes in Jurassic Park, where they stick their full-fledged arm into Triceratops droppings. It's a pretty big win right there. It's a fun moment.
I think this is a fair and correct answer, and I appreciate your candor and your honesty and correctness with the Triceratops being the best dinosaur, Elliot. I really appreciate it.
We can't be friends anymore. Sorry, Elliot.
Wow. Yeah, your relationship with Mellie is ruined, but you and me are good. Thanks so much for coming on, dude. I know that you're super, super busy, especially with everything releasing this week.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm super happy to be here, and yeah, I'm excited for what's to come on the horizon, and I'm really excited about Van Richten's. I think it's a fantastic book. As Mellie mentioned, what I look for as a DM in terms of these content is I love it when Wizards of the Coast provides players and DMs with tools to spark their imagination. They like to get you halfway there with like a lot of cool lore and tables, but then it's up to you to spend the time like rolling on those tables and figuring out what you'd like to use with that content and develop it and make it your own. So yeah, exciting times, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, man. And a lot of cool stuff coming up down the deck. And more than most because you've seen the treasure trove. You see that warehouse where the Ark of the Covenant is stored over at Wizards. And super stoked. Thanks so much, man. And thank you guys for watching. Let us know what you want to be talking about in these dev updates. We're going to do more and more of these Q&As just to kind of keep the conversation open and honest with you guys. So if you're watching in the future on YouTube, let us know in the comments what you guys want to hear more about, and I'm going to do my best to make that happen. Mellie, Elliot, thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys a little later today with Amy Dowling and Wes Schneider. Bye, guys.
D&D Beyond now fits in the palm of your hand with the free D&D Beyond app. It's the perfect tool set for beginners, regular players, and seasoned dungeon masters. Play faster with the guided character creator and access your character sheets, spells, and abilities wherever you go. All of your adventures and source books are at your fingertips, even when you're offline. Easily find and access the rules you need when you need them. With more features to come, download the free D&D Beyond app today.